Botswana is located in the southern area of Africa and is bordered by four countries: South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Zambia, and is the third least populated country in Africa with about 2.2 million. Botswana is mostly flat, and about 70% of the country is dominated by the Kalahari Desert and dry savannas. Its main languages are English and Swana, and the capital is Gaborone. The older women typically wear wrap skirts made of traditional German print fabric. Their top might be a t-shirt or button-up blouse. However, most of what you see looks just like what we wear in the United States. Jeans with t-shirts, sundresses, and collared dress shirts are very common. There are many folk traditions in Botswana, but most eminent ones are Tiflaka and Swana. Tiflaka is played collectively by a group whose members blow varying lengths of copper pipe, creating different tones and octaves. Swana is usually reliant on stringed instruments and the use of clapping to provide rhythmic backing. In Botswana, 77% of the nation is Christian. The religion was introduced in Botswana by the European colonists in the mid-1870s. The conversion to Christianity was relatively fast than in neighboring countries, since the tribal chiefs of the region were quick to adopt the religion and spread among their followers. Other religions are Badamo, which is a traditional indigenous religion. Less than 1% of the population adhere to Islam, and Hinduism also has a small following. Soswa, the traditional meat dish of Botswana, made of beef, goat chicken, or lamb meat, boiled together with onions and pepper, then shredded. Another traditional dish is vitkoek, which means fat cake. It is made out of flour, salt, and yeast, rolled into a ball and then deep fried. It is then filled with minced ground beef. The government of Botswana is a parliamentary republic with the president serving as both the head of state and government. Since independence, Botswana has maintained a strong representative democracy with consistency in a democratic election. The country is a multi-party state with the Botswana Democratic Party dominating the party system since their independence in 1966. The government is made up of a parliament, which serves as its legislative branch, and it also has an executive and judicial branch. The parliament comprises of the president and the National Assembly. The National Assembly is made up of 57 elected members and 4 appointed members, and 2 elected by the National Assembly. After every election, the party with the majority of seats in parliament elects the president appoints the vice president. The executive branch consists of the cabinet headed by the president, who is elected by the National Assembly to a maximum of 2 5-year terms. The cabinet is responsible for initiating and implementing national policies and the control of government departments. The president is commander-in-chief of the Botswana forces. He can appoint cabinet ministers, ambassadors, and judges. The Court of Appeal is the highest court in Botswana. The High Court is composed of the Chief Justice and several judges. The judges are appointed by the president with advice from the Judiciary Service Commission. In the past, particularly in the 1960s, the Botswana economy was one of the lowest ranked economies in the world. The Botswana government implemented some economic reforms that gradually transformed the country's economy. In 2017, the Botswana GDP was roughly 17.41 billion, which was the 112th highest in the world. Botswana's natural resources are livestock, copper, gold, and diamond. Diamonds are the most important mineral in Botswana due to the value of money they contribute to the country's GDP. The main manufacturing areas include diamond processing, food processing, and mining. Their major occupations are tourism, agriculture, and mining. Land use in Botswana is 45.8% agricultural, 19.8% forests, and urban areas is 34%. Their currency is the Botswana Pula. The Botswana tax system is source-based, with the current standard corporate tax of 25% applicable to residents and 30% to non-residents. The United States is the largest provider of aid and medical relief, especially in the HIV and AIDS division amongst the residents. Russia was one of the first countries to acknowledge Botswana as a nation. Till this day maintains numerous trade policies and educational cooperation agreements with them. Israel also has cooperation agreements and invests heavily in Botswana's economy. South Africa and Botswana do not have the best relations, but today are really close friends and have signed numerous agreements. A huge portion of Botswana's economy is dependent on South Africa. Botswana has the second highest HIV/AIDS adult prevalence rate in the world today, with about 380,000 of 2 million people have HIV or AIDS. Climate change projections suggest that the rainfall season will be shorter and less reliable in the future. Longer and harsher droughts are driving a growing share of Botswana's traditional cattlemen to give up their animals. Most of the cattlemen's herd die from sparse pasture and a lack of drinking water, as climate change brings more extreme weather across southern Africa. According to agricultural census released by Statistics Botswana last year, the country's estimated cattle population has fallen from 2.5 million to 1.7 million in the last 4 years. Botswana these days earns 70% of its earnings from diamond exports, not agricultural, which today produces less than 3% of GDP, but livestock still accounts for 80% of Botswana's agricultural earnings. For international news, President Masisi was up against Foreign Minister Benson Moitoi for leadership of the party, which she withdrew after preparation irregularities. President Masisi, the former vice president, took over presidency from Ian Khama. A power struggle ensued between the two inside the party, and Khama declared his support for Benson Moitoi. It's been a bitter power struggle. Businesswoman and president of the South African Mining Development Association, Bridget Madibi, was found in the middle of it. Botswana Sunday Standard published a story claiming that she was funding Benson Moitoi's campaign. She is also the sister-in-law of the president of South Africa, President Ramaphosa. She was supposed to meet with Ian Khama at the northwestern border of Zimbabwe, not far from the Botswana border. They were allegedly supposed to hand him $5.5 million in cash, which he was supposed to smuggle into Botswana to fund Benson Moitoi's campaign. But Zimbabwe's Central Intelligence Organization received a tip-off about this and detained Radibi before this could happen. She was interrogated and then released.